What is up, everybody? I'm George Mossey. This is my co-host, Heather C. 90 Day Fiance. We're on season 9. We're all the way at episode 16, and we still don't know how many episodes are left. So I'm going to call this podcast Two Weddings and a Yacht because we saw two weddings and we saw a yacht party, which we weren't expecting. So let's jump in. There's a lot to talk about. Kobe and Emily have one day before they have to get married. I don't want to say have to, but I mean, like, legally, they have to get married. And there's a huge dinner with Emily's entire family, and they all actually wear a outfit that Kobe picked out from the actual village where his parents live, which was very nice. I thought that was very respectful since his parents could not be at the dinner and at the wedding. But there was some doubt in Emily's mind, and the doubt is coming from not telling her parents that she's pregnant and then getting married and she's having jitters. Everybody feels that way. And we've seen this a lot this season. Guillermo had some pretty big doubts about getting married right before the wedding. And Cara did not take well to being told those concerns right before the wedding. And just like Cara, Kobe reacted the same way. He feels, why do you feel that you can't trust me after all that we've been through? We have a child together. We've been together for 2 years. We've been together in different countries. Why do you feel the night before we're supposed to get married, you don't know who I am?
And I think that a lot of these couples get themselves into like these predicaments and they get all like freaked out, but it's like you said, you don't have to get married. That's something that you
Exactly.
want to do. And then you fell in love with somebody from another country. So in order to keep them here, it becomes more of like a transaction because it's
Right?
like in 90 days, there are people that have been together for 20 years that aren't married. Like there's
Mhm.
still things that you don't know about people. So the fact that the government is like, okay, if you want to marry somebody, you have 90 days to do it and you're supposed to figure this out. It's such like a commitment to the fact where it's like you don't want to get divorced because they always say like if there's all these penalties that could happen to you if things don't work out and you're responsible for somebody and it's just like a lot going on, but your heart can't help who you fall in love with. So I get, why they do it. As far as like her not wanting to tell her parents, they're grown-ups. That's kind of like looking at like two teenagers that maybe got themselves in a predicament that they don't want to tell, their parents or whatever. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? They say they're disappointed. Like I can't imagine her parents throwing them out in the streets or the woods, like, get out of my house, like that's their child, that's their grandchild, their future grandchild, their son-in-law. So, I mean, other than them maybe being like, really, I asked one thing of you, but they're grown adults. Grown adults are going to do that type of stuff. And, you know, they're getting married. So it's not like they're doing anything that's so forbidden or, whatever. And, sometimes pregnancies aren't planned the way you want them to, but when the child is already in the mix, sometimes you're just going to have to work it out. But
Exactly.
I wouldn't let it affect her day. If anything, I would have just let the cat out the bag because what is the mom going to do? Ruin her daughter's wedding? Would have been an easy
I
band-aid
mean,
to rip off of.
I don't think it's good to tell them this information right before the wedding. I do agree that it's probably good that they enjoy the day because they did pay for it and they did make sure that everything was going as planned for them. So, I always hear people say it's not the right time. And I always say there's never a right time to give people certain types of news. Don't give them any information that would damper their mood right before a day that you want them to be happy and you want to look back at these photos and feel excited and see the love in those photos. So I do agree that telling them the night before the wedding wouldn't blow over the way Kobe thinks it would.
I mean, telling somebody that you're pregnant, especially your parents, isn't the worst thing that you can tell them. So, if, like I said, even if they would have let the cat out the bag, what is the worst that would have happened? They would have been like, wow. And then they would have moved on because it's already done and over with. And now there's a wedding and stuff, and they're not going to deny their grandchildren. So, I really think that she probably would have been able to rest easier if she would have just told them.
So speaking of the worst that can happen, I want to talk about Jabri and Miona because we watched a very sad scene between Mahala, which is Jabri's mother, and Jabri, and he literally asked her, I don't want to say he begged, but he really pleaded with her, I really want you here. This day does not feel like it is correct without you not being here. And his mom stuck to her guns and she said, I just can't be there because I feel like his decisions are irrational and impulsive. And I don't agree, especially the fact that she's a therapist. Like, this is kind of like emotional head games because you know she wants to be there and you know she loves Jabri, but she's doing this to teach him a lesson. And I feel like he's 28 years old. If he's going to do this and it's his decision, just support him. And even if it's a bad decision, he needs that support. No child 28 or 8 wants to feel that their parents don't support what they're doing. And I know I tell people all the time, love and support are two different things. You can love someone and not love what they're doing, and you can support someone and love them at the same time. Like, you have to separate the two. And I feel like Mahala's not able to separate love and support. She can't, for some reason, love him and support him at the same time. She can only do one. And unfortunately, she's going to miss his first wedding. And yes, they are planning a second, bigger wedding with everyone else there. But this is still a special wedding that his grandmother is officiating, her mother. And I just really wish that she would open up her heart and just be a mother, less of a therapist, less tough love, and just be a mother in this moment.
Well, everybody knows that whatever the parents want, the kids do the opposite. So if she really, really felt some type of way or passionate about her decision on him getting married, the more she pushes back, the more that the person is going to want to fight against them and do it even more. And I personally, and like I said, every time we talk about them, I'm probably just biased because they're my favorite, but I don't see how they can't tell that Miona is a perfect match for Jabri. Like, some people are just in this world and they're made for that person. And I just feel like they have this like chemistry where it's like they're just so supportive. Like, Miona is one of the first people that I felt like was very like authentic about her feelings towards like Jabri. I felt like she didn't want to come over here and be like, I want a green card, I want this, I want that. She loves him. And they're very complimentary to each other. And I don't understand why his mom doesn't see that. I mean, just because she wants to live, in California or have a beachfront wedding doesn't make her a bad person. It makes her a female. I mean, all females dream of their wedding. They dream of like how they want the special day to be. I just think that as a mom, she should just be there and support, because if her mom is going to officiate it and she's supportive and she's going to be there, and there's no reason why she shouldn't be there. Suck it up, put your feelings aside, because you will regret it. You will
Absolutely.
regret not being there for your kids.
Tough love is too tough in this situation. Her son might get married one time, and she's decided not to be there through tough love. And I feel like it's too tough in this situation. So speaking of marriages, Eve and Muhammad have tied the knot. So we watched the scene with Eve at the nail salon with her friend Rochelle, who is part of her squad. And she told her that Muhammad has re-proposed to her, and all of the red flags that she has told them about and they have seen in person are not important, and they are going through with the wedding. And just like everyone at home, Rochelle is very shocked, very worried, and very nervous about this upcoming wedding because someone who referred to her as his sponsor and said that he could replace her if need be to accelerate the process of getting his green card is very, very much a huge red flag. But Eve has basically seen nothing that has made her change her mind. So I am worried a lot about this situation because there's been text messages that have come out online recently about Muhammad and Eve, and I'm just really worried that Eve is in a situation that she doesn't realize the severity of it, and Theron is in that situation as well, and he's taking a strong liking to Muhammad, and it's going to be a tough situation if this doesn't work out.
Basically, this is how I look at it. She's a grown woman, and she, is a mother, and, she takes very good care of her son. And, there's no doubt in my mind about that. But as a person who makes decisions on her love life, it's not always spot on. And yes, we don't always see what goes on behind closed doors, but he was very vocal from the start on how he felt. And even if when they first met, he wasn't like that, he deliberately said to her, I need to get another sponsor. He said, like, I want my green card. I don't care what you want. This is what I want. And it wasn't until his mom was like, hello, like, you're ruining this, that he had a change of heart. If she chooses to be blind, look the other way, marry this man, sometimes people have to learn their own lessons, regardless of how you feel, regardless of how America feels, regardless of how big the signs are in their face, text messages and all. It's her life. And if she's choosing to live it with him, what are you going to do? We
What
can't
can we
say
do?
that it's a good or bad decision. She's the one that has to lie down with him. She's the one that might spend the rest of her life with him or go to divorce court with him. So I just look at it like a lot of these people are highly sensitive. They had no business going on this show in the first place because they can't reap what they sow. You know, they put their business and lives out there, but they get so upset when people have an opinion. So you know what, Eve, if you are watching this, I do not have an opinion on your life. Do you? That's all I got to say. She'll
I
learn.
agree. All right, that's it for part one. We're going to come back with part two. We have another wedding to talk about, and we have a yacht party to talk about as well. I'm George Mossey. This is my co-host, Heather C. Congratulations to Eve and Muhammad, by the way, who did get married. We wish you all the best. Thanks for joining. Oh, make sure you're live tweeting with us every Sunday night for 90 Day Fiance. We'll talk to you all really soon.